to him. Now, to give you an idea of everybody that's going to be inducted tonight, let me just run through them for you. Now, you're going to get a bit of a behind-the-scenes look because this is my first time doing a Facebook Live, so please be kind. Send us some comments, send us some questions that you have for some of the inductees. We're going to be talking very shortly here to the family of Viola Desmond, who's one of the inductees here tonight. Now, other people who are being inducted include, I've got a list, Donovan Bailey, as I mentioned, Anna Paquin, actress. She's actually one of the youngest Canadians to ever receive an Oscar. Also, Viola Desmond, as we mentioned. She passed away in 1965, but is a civil rights activist from Nova Scotia. And let's go through the list. David Suzuki, he's co-founder of the David Suzuki Foundation, also Order of Canada, holds 29 honorary degrees, Nature of Things host, and also Ted Rogers, who passed away in 2008, but his family is going to be here. He is, of course, head of Rogers Communications, and Stompin' Tom Connors from PEI, where I'm from, big guy. Every Canadian knows Stompin' Tom Connors. He passed away in 2013. But his family is here. We talked to them earlier, and they're very, very excited. All right, so we are going to talk to our first guest. Please send along your questions. This is the family of Viola Desmond. All right, so can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Dawn Millington.
Sydney Paris.
All right, and your relationship to Viola Desmond?
She was my Aunt Vi.
My Aunt Vi.
Yeah.
So you are here today. How are you feeling?
Fantastic. It's a little bit overwhelming, but it's fantastic.
Amazing. Just amazed.
What do you think this recognition, what does this mean? What would it mean to Viola herself?
I think she'd be very, very happy, very excited. A little bit low-keyed about it.
Yes, definitely low-keyed about it.
Yeah, a little bit low-keyed about it, but she'd be very excited. Yeah.
And what do you think it would mean to her, this honor, to be recognized for everything that she did?
Well, as we said, she was very low-key about it. It was kept quiet in the family, but I'm pretty sure she would have been very, very proud and happy about it. Especially the end result, as big as it has become, and what it means for the future generations of the Black community and Nova Scotia and our family. I think she would have been proud.
And for her legacy, now, you know, people in Toronto are going to be walking down the sidewalk reading her name. What's that like?
It's unbelievable. Truthfully, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
It makes them read. That's what it'll make them do, because I'm from Montreal, and no one realized what it was until they started reading about it.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
The face on the $10 bill has really opened everyone's eyes, and the history.
Yeah.
So that's what the good part about it.
So her face will be on the $10 bill coming 2018.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow. So, in terms of being her relative, how does that does it change things for you? Did you have to? Do you get asked any questions? Do you get recognized?
No, we don't. No, we don't. I tried to tell the ladies at the gym, and they didn't know what I was talking about, so I said, I give up.
I went to the post office to buy the stamps, and I told the gentleman, that's my aunt, and he went, yeah, right. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, that's really certainly going to change after tonight.
The $10 bill has already changed it, yes, because it was in all the papers. But it's quite unique, yes.
And of course, she was in Halifax, from Halifax. And where are you guys from?
I'm from Montreal.
I'm from Montreal too, but I live in Whitby now, Ontario. Yeah.
Now we are live on Facebook, and we're taking questions and comments from our viewers. But if could you just kind of run through who Viola was for them?
For them, well, they know more now than anywhere in the country, actually, because the pardon was quite a big event. They have a ferry. She has a ferry named after her.
Yeah.
and now the $10 bill.
Yeah, and they're thinking of naming the theater where it happened after her.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of our viewers might be wondering what theater you're talking about. So Viola is famous because she refused to sit in this designated seating area.
She didn't refuse.
No.
She sat there because she bought a ticket for that seating area
Yeah.
and was told she couldn't sit there after
Yeah.
they realized that she wasn't a white person. And their excuse to remove her was she didn't pay the full complement or full ticket price, which was a difference of 1 penny.
1 penny. Yeah.
So that was their excuse.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't take the money from her.
No,
No,
of course
they
not.
dragged
They
her
wanted
out.
her out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she was subsequently fined.
Fined and jailed, yes.
Yeah, overnight.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right.
What do you think we can learn today from Viola Desmond?
Well, for one thing, we've learned a lot about our history.
Yes.
And for the history of Canadians, people don't realize that there was a lot of discrimination in Canada, and there still is, and it has to be brought forward, and people need to be reminded of it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Nice
much.
to meet you.
Enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Niece and nephew from Viola Desmond, the civil rights leader coming from Halifax, Nova Scotia. We're going to be staying with you here on the red carpet until things settle down, so we'll be here for a while. And here we go. Hi there, I'm Stephanie with CBC.
Nice to see you.
How are you tonight?
I am doing well, doing very well.
And you've come down for this. Where did you come from tonight?
Came from Atlanta.
Okay. Why do you think it was important to be here tonight?
I think two reasons. Well, first of all, I have a very dear friend who's here, who invited me, Jeffrey Latimer. But secondly, when he shared with me about Viola Desmond and the contribution that she made starting with 1946, and I started thinking about the parallel between what she did in 46 and Mrs. Parks, Rosa Parks in 55, I said, wow, this is amazing. And so the first word that came into my mental faculties was courage, the courageous effort, and the fact that when you talk about civil and human rights, she in this country and Rosa Parks in the United States, there are similar parallels. They're parallels to what they represented. And the most important, I think, thing ultimately that will happen beyond this award and getting more people knowledgeable is the fact that she becomes the first woman on the $10 bill. That is quite amazing, and it also is going to create a consciousness among young people who look at money and say, well, here are certain people on our money. I want to know more about Ms. Desmond, particularly since she'll be the first black person and woman.
Now, I'll just remind our viewers who we're speaking to, we're talking to Martin Luther King III,
yes.
And you're here from Atlanta. We're on live on Facebook and YouTube, and I just we're getting questions from Yvonne Austin, who's asking, what did Viola do that stood out the most to you?
You know, I think the first and most, the initial event coming into the movie theater was what I initially registered with. But the fact that again and again continuing to stand up against a system that was unfortunately prejudiced. And so I think that's why I go back to courage. It takes a lot of courage to stand up. And although you're being yourself, the system is constantly beating you down, but you don't allow that to define you. You keep moving forward because you know that freedom, justice, and equality can become a reality.
Now, of course, this is something that people every day in Canada are facing, but also it's a huge issue right now in the States. What do you think? What do you think is the similarities between what's happening in the States?
Between the States and what?
And Canada?
Well, you know, we are going through a redefinition, I would say, right now. And I think that there is a perception and a reality of division. And it is my hope and prayer that the president will find more ways to unify us than to give the perception that he's attempting to divide. So it's a very challenging time, but wherever there are great challenges, there are always great opportunities. So you as a country, Canada, has a young, vibrant, certainly highly intelligent prime minister whose, of course, father was a former head of state as well. But there are differences, and the reality is the United States and Canada are so close, not just border-wise. I mean, we depend upon each other. We are allies, and perhaps always will be. But I think we have to work. The U.S. has to work through some of our challenges. We're going to become a better nation, and I know that Canada will become a better nation, and together we can help create a better world.
Well, thank you so much. I'm sure it means a lot to the family of Viola Desmond that you're here and you're going to be making this presentation tonight. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.
Enjoy the evening.
Thank you, and you too.
All right. So there you have it. Martin Luther King III, son of Martin Luther King Jr., here to present the star of the star to Viola Desmond's family, who's here, and we talked to them earlier, niece and nephew, who will be accepting the award. Let's take a look down over here. David Suzuki. We were wondering what David Suzuki was going to, when he was going to show up, and here he is. He's going to, in a few minutes, actually unveil the star that we're going to get to take a look at. And this is what happens sometimes on red carpets. Photographers get in the way. You have to, George, thank you. Show everybody on Facebook. There we go. See that? This is what the star will look like. All right, so there he is, and you can see him actually signing it, if we can get a shot. This.
Okay, we're gonna go live to this. Plug in, can you hear?
Hello, I can hear you. All right, Facebook Live and YouTube. We're gonna be talking to Dwight in a second. All right, so you won't hear who I'm talking to, but please bear with us. We'll be back in just a minute, and you kind of see how behind the scenes this works. We're going to go live to Toronto local show, and I'm not hearing anything right now, and I will eventually, I'm sure. Here we go. This is what happens when they are in commercial, 2 minutes and 45 seconds to me. So this is what we do back here on the red carpet. All right. Okay. So David Suzuki behind me. Hopefully we're going to talk to him very soon. If you have any questions for David Suzuki, please let us know. All right, so Catherine Lodge Childs asks, she asked, what is the criteria for the Walk of Fame? I didn't get to that, but here's the answer. The Canada's Walk of Fame honor is bestowed annually to Canadians who have excelled in their respective fields. And the criteria is that a nominee must have been born in Canada or spent their formative years in Canada. They have to have spent at least 10 years excelling at their craft. And there are 5 different pillars. So it's not just stars or Hollywood stars. It's actually 5 different pillars. People from sports, business, science and tech, humanities, and arts and entertainment who are honored here tonight and who get their names on stars. And those stars are on King Street West and Simcoe Streets in downtown Toronto. So in just a few seconds, as soon as this commercial breaks up, we are going to, actually, I'm just being told to move. We're 1 minute away. Hang on. So as you can see, we're kind of behind the scenes. This is where everybody's going to be wrangling to talk to them. And just forgive me, Facebook and YouTube, stay with us. We're just going to do this live hit very momentarily. In the meantime, has Buffy St. Marine been inducted yet? Andrew asks. Yes, inducted back in 1999. Thank goodness for my producer, Laura Thompson, who's pretty awesome. She's getting all your questions. She's asking them. She's 30 seconds. So just give us a second here. They're going to come. You got it, Dwight. There's not just stars in television and film here. It's not the same as Hollywood stars. Hollywood's Walk of Fame. Here in Canada, we honor people from all different aspects: sports, business, science and tech, entertainment, and sports and humanities. So there's also going to be kind of a Lifetime Achievement Award given out tonight. That's the Cineplex Legends Award. And this year, 6 people are being inducted, some of them posthumously. Let me go through the list for you. Civil rights activist Viola Desmond will be inducted today, and she died in 1965 and she hails from Nova Scotia. Businessman Ted Rogers from Rogers Communications will also be honored tonight, and sprinter Donovan Bailey, who we spoke to earlier. He said it's quite an honor. He's also been inducted into the Order of Canada, but he says this is a real honor for Canadians to see his name on the sidewalk. He, of course, is a 3-time world record holder and once the fastest man in the world. Also being inducted tonight, actress Anna Paquin, who as a child actor was one of the first Canadians to win an Oscar. And she also is in Alias Grace and the CBC show Bellevue. Also, environmentalist David Suzuki is going to be inducted tonight. You can see him. He was just here just a moment ago. Of course, he's author of 52 books, host of The Nature of Things, and finally Stompin' Tom Connors, musician who passed away in 2013. He is going to be inducted, get his own star tonight. We talked to his family, and they are very excited, very honored to be here. So that brings the total, Dwight, to 173 stars on Toronto streets and inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame. Dwight?
The sign of success. And to me, the fact that I've been able to stay in the public eye
That's right.
is a tribute to Canadians.
You're welcome.
You know, the Canadians would take this funny-looking science geek and pay attention.
All right, so, hi Facebook, we're still with you. And as you can see, David Suzuki is right there. I'm just going to take this out of my ear so I don't need it anymore. And we're going to talk to David Suzuki in just a moment. So please send us your comments, questions. What should I ask David Suzuki? In the meantime, Andrew Matheson asks, are there any First Nations people on the list this year? I'm not sure of the answer to that, but we're going to work on that. We've got my producer, Laura, who can come up with any question, any answer to any question, so she's going to help me get that answer. All right. You can see we're just behind the scenes. We're waiting, rubbing elbows with everyone. And we're still waiting. Right, I'll get out of your way because look at that. We didn't even know these guys were going to be here. All right. So just to give you guys a recap, if you're just joining us, we are here on the red carpet, here at the Walk of Fame, where 6 people are going to be inducted tonight. They're going to get their own stars. And actually, just beside me here is Brian Mulroney and his son Ben. They're, as you can see, talking to several different people. And, oh, this is Jim Cuddy is right here. So he's going to be actually presenting the award to David Suzuki tonight at the gala here at the Grand Liberty. If you have any questions for Jim, we're going to try to talk to him as well. All right. So here it's very crowded on this red carpet, and we've got all kinds of different media outlets. It's very warm as well, but it's kind of, it's pretty neat. As soon as people come in, they are coming in the door, and we're going to see if we can talk to Mr. Mulroney. Yes, please. Hello, hi, I'm Stephanie with CBC. We are live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Tell me about, are you here to present?
I'm here to present Ted Rogers tonight. Ted was an old friend of mine I met 61 years ago this month.
Wow.
And so he was a man, even at that young age, he was at the University of Toronto studying law. And even at that age, he was a visionary. He knew exactly what he wanted to do in life, and he set about to achieve it, and he did, big time. So I'm happy to be here. He became a very close friend all those years. So I'm honored to be here tonight to pay tribute to his achievements.
His achievement's so great, actually, and you're...
He built an empire. He built an empire, and but he also built a great family, and he gave back to his community, to Ontario in particular, and Toronto in a major way. His philanthropy is extraordinary.
I want to ask you why you think it's important that we honor our own Canadians. As Canadians, we honor our own here.
Well, if we don't, who will? You know, it's important for the success of Canada that those people who have been successful in their own areas be viewed with favor and celebration. So this is a celebration of Canada as much as it is a celebration of Ted's life.
And you're here with your son as well?
I'm here with Ben, yeah, the two of us.
All right. Well, enjoy the night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy.
There's Brian Mulroney, former Prime Minister, with his son Ben. And we are going to do some wrangling now. We're going to really try to talk to David Suzuki. So if you have a question for David Suzuki, please send it now. I'd love to have some help in that department. So what should we ask David Suzuki? He's about to get his name on a Toronto sidewalk. I mean, among other accolades that he already has. So wonder what this will mean to him. All right. Okay, looks like we're getting a question as well from Andrew Matheson. All right. And we will be asking. Yes, we would love to talk to David next. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. It'd be great. All right, so as behind the scenes on the red carpet, you have to have a million arms and hands. Laura here is one of them, and she's doing some signaling right now, telling everybody that we want to talk to him next. And then we're going to talk to hopefully Jim Cuddy, who's here to present the award to David Suzuki. All right, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section, send them our way. Hey, what are you doing here?
Just walking David Suzuki down the carpet.
And your name is?
Devin.
Devin, all right. So, Devin and David, hi there.
Hi,
I'm
good to see you.
Stephanie Van Campen with CBC, so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
How are you feeling tonight?
Well, I'm very pleased. I've been saying over and over, this is as much a tribute to all of the people that have watched the nature of things over the years. You know, if there hadn't been Canadians listening to me and watching me, I would have been off the air a long time ago. So I feel very honored to get this, but I accept it on behalf of all of the Canadians who've been my fans and supported me all these years.
Now, we are live on Facebook and YouTube right now, and we have people asking us questions. So I'm going to ask you, Doreen Carmen asks briefly, what is David Suzuki's opinion of the U.S. pulling out of the Paris Accord?
Well, of course, it's shocking, and it's a reversion from the Obama years. Obama had really taken America up to a point of leadership in Paris. But this is a very abnormal situation we've got. I lived in the United States for 8 years, and I'm a big admirer of American people. And I said, when Trump started this whole crazy thing that he's talking about, global warming or climate change is a hoax that the Chinese are fostering, I said, Americans are going to rise up against that. That's not the American way. The America I knew were the Americas that responded to the Russians when they launched Sputnik. They said, oh my God, the Russians are really advanced in space. We got to catch up to them. That's the American way. We got to catch up to them. Now China is taking the leadership on climate change. I expect Americans to say, it shouldn't be China, it should be America. We got to catch up to them.
So next it'll be the environmental race.
Absolutely.
We have another question from Adam Friesen, who asks, what do you think about what the Prime Minister Trudeau is doing to fight climate change here in Canada?
Well, you know, he was such a refreshment when he was elected. We'd had 9.5 years of a government that it was saying, no. They wouldn't even say the words climate change. They fired hundreds of scientists. They tried to keep scientists from even talking about climate change. So when Mr. Trudeau was elected, the sun came out. It was wonderful. And he went straight to Paris, took a very strong position, said Canada is back. We were all very, very proud. But it's one thing to say we're going to do something. It's a very different thing to do it. And the disappointment now is he's not making the right decisions. And I don't know if Canadians know about the warning to humanity that has just come out. And 15,000 scientists are saying, look, we're in a very big pickle and we've got to act now. So what I'm hoping is that Mr. Trudeau and Ms. McKenna is a great Minister of the Environment, but they've got to start doing the hard things now.
What gives you hope now?
Well, the hope is that we're still here, that Mother Earth is still more generous than we deserve, and that more and more people are saying we've got to change path, that there are opportunities somewhere else. The hope lies in the fact that anyone that cares about future generations is going to be working very hard. We're heading in a very bad direction, and we can't fool around any longer. We got to change now.
And you of course are doing your part.
I'm an old man, but lots of young people coming up, and the movement has got to work.
And today you're getting honored for all of the work that you've done in this. You know, do you feel like do you get reaction from people? Do people tell you about the impact that you've made?
Well, it's always very heartening when people tell me, I've been watching you since I was a child, and I just had one person say that if I didn't watch The Nature of Things, I was grounded for a week by my parents. I love stories like that. And it's, again, a tribute to the nature of things. The nature of things existed long before I got involved in it. And the Nature of Things has been a wonderful platform. Canadians trust the program, and it's very, very rewarding to meet people that say that it's had an influence on their lives. So I'm very pleased about that.
Are you gonna see this star? Are you gonna walk by the star, visit it when you?
well, maybe I'll see people walking on it and say, hey, don't walk on my star. Who knows?
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Just one picture.
We got to get our photos in. Thank you so much. All right, Facebook and YouTube. Okay, and Jann Arden is right there. Thanks so much for asking your questions, Adam and Doreen and Andrew. That was great. It was really nice to have some added things to talk about. Is that? Wow, Chris Hadfield. I didn't know he was going to be here. Jann Arden's right next door. If you have any questions for Jann that I should ask her, comments, anything you want to shout out, send it to us and I will try my best to answer. Nancy Cameron asks, who is at the gala? Well, you can see Chris Hadfield just walked by. Jann Arden is right next to us. David Suzuki, Donovan Bailey, Viola Desmond's family, Martin Luther King III, Martin Luther King Jr.'s son, is here to present one of the awards. We talked to Sean Hook earlier. He's here to get the Alan Slate Award, which honors the young person in humanities. And so we've got a lot of Canadians. I mean, this is a good night to be a Canadian. It's all about celebrating our own, and not just in film and television, but also in all kinds of things, in sports, business. We talked to Donovan Bailey. I talked to Donovan Bailey today. That was kind of cool. He was great. And also humanities, people who have died but still need to be recognized. People like Stompin' Tom Connors. I'm from PEI, and he's a huge figure there. He's actually from PEI, or at least we claim him. He was adopted by PEI Island parents, and his niece and nephew were here to talk to them, and they were really, really great. We talked to his son, Ta, and his wife, who said he would be stomping if he was here. So there you have it. We're going to just try to get a hold of maybe these folks. Hey, can we talk to Jann after this?
We're bringing her back down here. Is that okay?
We would love to talk to her. We're CBC. Yeah. We're live right now, actually. We'd love to talk to her. That'd be great. Yeah. This is all part of the wrangling. Lots of people. Let's take a look around. You can see there's just shoulder-to-shoulder cameras. Lots of media. And Donovan Bailey's back. You know, fun fact, Donovan Bailey and I share the same birthday. Found that out today. Forgot to ask him about that. Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm Stephanie.
Hi,
I'm
Stephanie.
with CBC.
Pleasure.
So nice to meet you. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Whoa. How are you tonight?
I think I'm really good. I'm fine physically. That's what I tell people all the time. But it's great to be here. We're celebrating a really, really diverse, talented group of Canadians, and nurturing a program, the Walk of Fame, that we all feel is really, really important. We feel like it's, celebrating who Canadians are and what we do and how we impact the world. So I'm just here to direct traffic and enjoy the evening along with everybody else.
Anybody here that you're excited to meet?
All of them. Honestly, Anna, everybody. I mean, imagine, having your image, your face on currency. We've got some beautiful people here tonight, and it's there's lots of surprises. I think people are going to be really moved by some of the speeches, and Sean Hook is performing a little bit later. A very well-deserved award for him that celebrates young Canadian talent, but he's got strings and cellos and violins. I was listening to the sound check earlier, and it's Sean Hook. It's amazing.
So you're the host tonight?
I am hosting tonight. It really is. I think the big jobs are the people doing all the inductions. So I'm basically introducing the people who are introducing the inductees. So it seems kind of nutty, but that's what my job is here tonight. And it gave me an excuse to, to go out and buy some clothes.
Ooh.
And yeah,
Get dolled up. You look fabulous.
I spend $80 or $90 on a nice dress. You know what I'm saying? I went all out.
Well, you look great. It's paying off. We are actually on Facebook Live and YouTube, and I want to ask you a question from Ted Copeland, who says, how is your mom?
My mom is she's doing okay. She has Alzheimer's, and she's very intrepid and very brave. But Alzheimer's is a really difficult disease. It takes people inch by inch by inch. So every day there's new things that are missing. But you know, yeah, it's a catastrophic problem that hundreds of thousands of Canadian families are dealing with. So we're just trying to plow forward. But thank you very much for asking.
You, of course, have a book that coming. Tell us about that.
It comes out the 21st of November. It's called Feeding My Mother. And it really is a celebration of my mom's life. But it's walking through the last 5 or 6 years of memory diseases with my mom and my dad. And just things that I could do with them. And food became big. It was something that they didn't need help with. They could sit in front of a nice plate of macaroni and cheese and eat it. And without instructions, and people with Alzheimer's must get so sick of that. No, do this or do that, or pick that up or put that there. And I just sort of stumbled onto, they still get it. They still get meals. So I think that's why I focused a lot of my energy on that, feeding them.
We have another question from Simone Ma. She asks, how do you balance work, taking care of your mom, and also taking time for yourself?
I think I know this sounds like a cliche, but it's just moment to moment. I never plan. I don't plan what's happening next week. I think my mom's illness really taught me that. I really stay where I am. I don't have to deal with next week. I don't have to deal with 2 months from now. All I have to deal with is just where I am right now. And I have a lot of help in my work. I don't go out and do anything by myself. I mean, you know, Josh with Random House Penguin is helping me negotiate what I'm supposed to be doing, and my road manager's here to, you know, help me figure things out. And I had someone help me with hair and makeup. Like, all I have to do is really show up and, you know, go over what I'm supposed to be doing at that time and carry on. But it is not a solitary job. I work with a lot of people that are amazing artists and really creative people, so thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. We have another question about whether or not you were going to do a live Christmas special this year. That's coming from Brennan Don.
I'm not doing a live special this year. It's been really fun the last couple of years working with CTV and doing specials with The Social. Like, it was really awesome, but this year we just don't have anywhere to put it. I'm touring with symphonies coast to coast this year. I think we start, like in 10 days or something. And we are just going across doing the Christmas program, but it's not going to be televised.
I know you're going to be in Toronto.
Yeah, at Massey Hall. We're there the 29th and 30th.
Amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for being here.
This was awesome.
Thanks,
and answering all our questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jann Arden, lovely. She's got a book coming up, as she talked about cooking with her mother who has Alzheimer's. And there with Jeannie Becker. Wow, see, you just never know who's going to show up. Excuse me. She's always cracking jokes. Who do we have coming down? We are still waiting for one last person. I know we're waiting for Anna Paquin.
Jim Cuddy. Yes. I'll bring them back.
And there is Anna Paquin. She's looking lovely. Look at that dress. It is phenomenal. We're really looking forward to speaking to her. As you can see, we're gonna sometimes get people out of the way because it's a little crowded here. She's looking very elegant with her husband, Stephen Moyer, who, if you are a fan of True Blood, you know, co-stars of that program. And head to toe in black with a black tie, looking pretty spiffy. We're going to ask if you have any questions for Anna, please send them along. We're also going to try to talk to Jim Cuddy as well. Sometimes you need more than one hand, or 2 hands. 3 hands would be good. I'm gonna keep my Facebook blog.
What you do is you look at faces and you read the wrong side, and that's why I don't have a book on your face.
right, so we're going to try to talk to 2 more people before we wrap up. We're going to try to talk to Jim Cuddy, who's presenting to David Suzuki tonight, and we're going to try to talk to Anna and her husband Stephen, maybe. And they are just strolling down, and let's just see if we can get a look at them. They might bring over the star. Usually that's what they've been doing, and then unveiling it. So they can take a look. Okay, we got some more questions. Courtney Schmidt wants to know what's any upcoming projects for Anna and Stephen. And we're going to ask that to her. We'll see what she has to say. All right, so Sean Doyle, co-star with Anna Paquin in the CBC series Bellevue, and he is going to be actually presenting. So, of course, Bellevue is on CBC, and it's a mystery set in a small blue-collar town. Lots of good people. Anna Paquin plays Annie Ryder. She's a detective, and she's got kind of a brazen personality. And then a transgender teen goes missing. So that's basically what Bellevue is all about. We're going to really try to talk to her now. So we will ask her questions, but if you've got any comments that you want to pose to Anna Paquin, of course she was in X-Men and a number of other shows, Alias Grace. She was one of the youngest Canadians ever to be given an Oscar for her role in The Piano back when she was just 11 years old. And she just got swept away, but that's how things work here. And we're going to really try to get her. But if you're just tuning in, you're seeing the red carpet here at the Canada Walk of Fame. And you can, 6 people are being inducted tonight. They're going to get their names on stars that will be laid into Toronto sidewalks on King Street West and Simcoe Streets. We've talked to a lot of people here tonight, but we've really been looking forward to talking to actress Anna Paquin. She's just talking to some other media, but this is kind of how it works. Laura, my producer here, is helping me out. We are in, where are we? Well, we're in the Liberty Grand in Toronto. It's an Ontario government building. Entertainment complex hosts things like this. You want to know some things about this building? Let's take a look. We've got some chandeliers. It's pretty beautiful. It's the CNE. It's CNE, Ontario Government Building. Hosts things like this big gala that's going to take place. Actually, all the stars are walking past when they are finished talking, taking all of our endless questions. They are going to go in and have a gala. They're going to have a dinner. It's going to be lovely, I'm sure. We won't be sticking around for that, but you can watch that actually on December 3rd. It's going to be a gala that you can, a presentation on TV that you can watch December 3rd if you would like to. And who do we have? See, you just never know who's going to be there. So let's take a look. There you see Anna Paquin. Can we please, we're live, we'd love to talk to her. We have just a few minutes more that we're live, so we'd really like to. What time are you live? We are actually holding our live, we're live right now. Okay. We'd love to talk to her. So, all right. She only has a short window. We get told this, but we're really going to try to talk to Anna. So just to recap what's happening tonight, we've got 6 inductees. Let's see if I can remember them all. Donovan Bailey for sports, Ted Rogers for communications, for Rogers Communications, and Viola Desmond, who passed away, but she was a civil rights leader. She's being honored tonight. Tom Connors from PEI is being honored as well. And who else am I missing? Sean Hook is being honored tonight. He's getting not a star, but he's got the Alan Slate Award. And we got that Stomp and Tom Connors. Oh, I forgot the last one is David Suzuki. Of course, how do you forget David Suzuki? And here we go. Hello, hi. I'm Stephanie with CBC. Hi, nice to meet you. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and we would just love to hear how you're feeling tonight.
I'm very excited. I'm a little nervous. I feel incredible. I have to say things and do the public speaking thing, and I'm terrible at that. So, but I'm really honored and just very excited to get to be here.
And in your hometown?
Well, actually, I'm from Winnipeg, home country. But I've spent an enormous amount of my life in Toronto and Ontario and various other parts of Canada. So it all feels like home at this point.
Now, recently, you kind of stood up on Twitter. I mean, everyone in our business, we've been covering so much of the sexual harassment stories. How do you feel about what's happening now with so many?
As much as I have a lot to say about this, I don't feel like this kind of brief format is the appropriate forum to really get into that, because I feel like it does a disservice. I've kind of said everything for the minute that I feel comfortable saying, but thank you for the support.
That's fair. Totally understand. Thank you.
Sorry.
All right, so that's Anna Paquin. Of course, she's got just limited time before she has to walk in, because the gala actually starts very soon here tonight, and it's about hundreds of people here, including Anna, who will be here for the ceremony. I think it begins around 7 o'clock, so just coming up. 6 inductees going to be laid in stone, get their own star on Canada's Walk of Fame, which is on King Street West and Simcoe Street. So you can find it here in Toronto. Now, we've talked to almost everybody here, I think. Thank you so much for joining us, for being here, and we're going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for joining us. Your comments, really appreciate it. You guys held me together. Thank you, Laura. Thanks, Martin, cameraman. He was awesome. And we'll see you next time.
I wouldn't switch.